with the singing of tonight's national anthem. Please welcome, from BTV, Bananas broadcaster Josh Talevsky.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Talevsky.
You are watching Game 79 of the 2023 Banana Ball World Tour, loved by our dear friends over at Zappos. The Bananas 33-26-2 against their arch rivals. With 8 games still on the schedule against the Party Animals, are 1 win away from clinching the season series. They have been red hot since the start of June. 21-9 against their arch rivals in that time, flipping the script from 5 games down to 7 games up. And now we are set for the 79th Banana Ball game here in 2023. The 62nd battle between these two teams. Here's how the Bananas will align defensively for the matchup. From left to right in the outfield, Michael Deeb, D.R. Meadows, and Danny Hosley. Third to first in the infield, it is Jackson Olsen, Ryan Cox, Eric Jones Jr., and Dakota McFadden. Bill Leroy is behind the dish, and Cowboy Kyle Lewigs, the tour leader in trick plays for pitchers, gets the start. And boy, oh boy, what a perfect time for our national anthem singer, Josh Talevsky, to rejoin us in the booth. You picked up the other mic, Josh. I don't know what mic you have. Maybe we're unplugged. I don't know what it could possibly be happening here. This is really an absolute mystery. Yeah, we'll try that one. Okay, now we figure out which mic here has some power.
Check, 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 check.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
Sounds pretty good. Okay, you get to look at our good buddy Cowboy Kyle Luke, who we shared some bagels with this morning and is looking to stay hot since the start of June.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's Cowboy Kyle leading all starters on tour with 9 wins this season, 54 points earned for Cowboy Kyle and 41 points lost. The 112 ERA plus still continuing to be above the tour average, and opponents were at a time batting below 300 against Kyle. Now it is up to 303, the Party Animals opponent's batting average. We'll see if Cowboy Kyle can dial it back in tonight and limit those Party Animals, get that thing back below 300.
Okay, let's get another glimpse at the Party Animals lineup opposing him tonight. We just ran through it, but here's a refresher. Reese Hampton, Dalton Cornett, and Tanner Thomas due to swing it in the first. Jake Skoll cleaning it up, then Bryson Bloomer, Joe Lytle, Jason Swan, Sam Claycamp, Dustin Baber, and Chase Haycuff. Here's Jesse Cole.
Time. So on 3, I need everyone here to yell, start the clock. 1, 2, 3. Showtime.
Leading off for the Party Animals, number 6, Reese Hampton.
Okay, another mic check for you, Josh.
Check, check, check. It's game time. We are ready.
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear now. Okay, we have the right headsets, and we are ready to rumble. Reese Hampton, of course, the top of the order for the Party Animals. He is coming off 3 years of minor league ball with the Detroit Tigers, another year of service in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, and he wastes no time getting after it.
Number
Takes a
3,
90-mile-an-hour
Cornett.
fastball and sends it into left for a base hit.
Yeah, and that's just what Reese Hampton continues to do this season, batting very close to 500 in the first inning this season, and that's the reason you want him batting leadoff, and a great job by Hampton, despite leading off the game, batting left-hand, and the Bananas putting that shift on him. It's Hampton being able to go the opposite way and get the Party Animals a runner on early.
So the tour leader in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging is aboard. He's also the Party Animals leader in stolen bases. Reese Lightning 21 for 26 in his attempts at swiping bags. And now Dalton Cornett with a 1-1 count on him, the half night off. Was originally penciled in as the catcher. He comes into the ballgame as the DH as he and Joe Lytle swapped positions a few hours before the ballgame. And Cornett in his second tour, just like Hampton leading off first, hitting .335, a .398 on base percentage, slugging .502. He is just a couple points in the OBP category from the vaulted .345 slash line.
And really the only reason we haven't seen that OBP a little higher, only 2 ball four sprints since the month of July and into August, and here he draws his first sprint of the month as the Bananas defense kind of confounded with the sprint there and the stolen base there from Reese Hampton. Now it is runners on the corners, and now Cornett continues to creep up towards that OBP mark.
Yeah, that is his 24th sprint compared to just 15 strikeouts on the tour. That's the best sprint to strikeout ratio from all hitters. And Party Animals on the corners with nobody gone for Tanner Thomas. As I mentioned in the pregame show, his 50 RBIs, third most on the tour, but he's 1 behind Bloomer for second and 2 behind Skoll for first, so he is knocking on the door in the stakes department. Tanner in his second tour, just like Cornett on first, both of them with the Party Animals. Right fielder hitting .313, a .369 on base percentage, slugging .485. He's been one of the hottest hitters for the boys in black and pink.
Yeah, and we saw it in Iowa. We also saw it in Portland, Maine. If we want to go all the way back to that time frame, as Tanner spraying this one down the left field line and foul. It was Tanner across both games in Portland. He had back-to-back 3-hit nights.
Behind 0-2 here, he has to look out for 4-seam, 2-seam, and cut fastballs, as well as a slider and curveball, the main mix for Cowboy Kyle, who, just like his battery mate, Bill Leroy behind the dish, in his 6th year as a Banana, second as a pro. 1-2 now to his Bananas teammate in the summers of 2018 and 19, and Tanner able to fight off a 2-seamer well located on the inside corner.
Yeah, and Cowboy Kyle setting up Tanner in there, kind of running the fastball. Now this feels like a situation where I'd expect Kyle to go to his bread and butter pitch, the slider, try and see if he can get a chase from Tanner low in the zone.
Was with the heater down and away. It's bounced to Ryan Cox, and he will try to make the only play available. Tanner, with incredible speed, is going to beat it out for an infield single. So tough luck early on here for Cowboy Kyle Lewicks.
Yeah, and that was just an overall tricky play for Ryan Cox, who had to range a little more, as the Bananas still expecting Tanner Thomas to pull a little bit more than he did there. And the opposite field hits are coming early for the Party Animals, as Cox had to throw cross body. Really didn't have a great chance at trying to go to second base and getting Dalton Cornett either, who is not as quick of a base runner. And when you've got Eric Jones, who has had very limited time playing second base on the tour this year.
And this is a tough pill for Kyle to swallow, as the 3-1 pitch to Dalton Cornett, I just got a chance to go back and look at it. I missed it on the monitor the first time through. It had every bit of the zone, so really should have been a stolen base for Reese Hampton and a 3-2 count to Dalton Cornett, but Cowboy Kyle and company cannot dwell on that. There are 2 men on and still nobody out for the cleanup hitter and the ever-dangerous left fielder, Jake Skoll.
And when you reference that pitch from Cowboy Kyle, you kind of saw the Bananas defense, who got a late jump. Vincent had a late call, and I think that's where all that confusion set in. And luckily, the Bananas did not allow Dalton Cornett to already get to second base on that ball four sprint.
I think Vincent Chapman disarmed by the fact that Bill Leroy had to grab that thing from the zone and fire it to second with Hampton off on the pitch. Would have had second base stolen pretty easily. And that's where the missed call comes in. And now a 2-1 count, make it 2-2 on the former first-round draft pick, Texas Rangers. Nabbed Skull 15th overall back in 2010. Spent 7 years in minor league baseball, 5 of them in the Rangers organization, 2 in the New York Yankees farm system. His story is well told. Spent 4 years of college football action next at UGA. And now in his 3rd world tour, first with the Party Animals after being a Banana in 21 and 22. And he continues to battle here. Tour leader in triples, RBIs, and ball four sprints. Another 2-2 from Lewicks. Cornette off of second, Thomas off first. Backdoor bender popped up foul. Jackson Olsen in pursuit. He is going to run out of room, and the fans not able to help out the Richmond Hill product on the mound. So another 2-2 coming.
Yeah, and that was a nice pitch from Kyle Lewicks. We've now seen back-to-back left-handed batters. Kyle with 2 strikes, trying to set them up with that inside fastball. You saw Kyle go back to fastball against Tanner Thomas, then went outside with the breaking ball, and he got Skull to go after it. I feel like we'll see another breaking ball here to Skull once again, who has really struggled with that pitch over the last month.
There it is, and it squirted the opposite way. Backhanded by Cox. He gets the force at second. EJ's return to first, not in time. DMAC can't handle the throw. Cornette broke towards home and then retreats. And that is a huge first out for the Nanners, as the Animals still have runners on the corners with 1 away.
Yeah, and there you saw Ryan Cox able to make that really difficult cross-body throw. And it was a better reaction time, I would say, from Eric Jones Jr. at second base to go towards that bag so they could get that fielder's choice. And it's always tough to turn 2 on a batter like Jake Skull, as Bryson Bloomer will rip this one into left field. That's another run across the board for the Party Animals. Bloomer's 22nd run batted in here at Grayson Stadium.
And his 52nd stake on the tour. So he now ties Skull at second base for the season lead in ribeyes, as Cornette comes across to score for the 48th time on the season. And still 2 aboard, still just 1 out. We go to the 6th hole. Joe Lytle, the dangerous catcher who waits there. He's been excellent in August, batting average up to 323, on base percentage at 398. He's slugging 458, just outside of the top 10. And EJ going to get the lead runner. Cox will not have a throw to first. Good base running by Skull, not fooled by the half-hearted deke from the glove magician. And another fielder's choice. Once again, for the 3rd time in the inning, runners on the corners, but now Kyle an out away from escaping. Pretty athletic play there from Eric Jones Jr., who has not spent a ton of time at second base on the tour. And Jason Swan behind 0-1. Swanee, the extra hitter. Comes in hitting 248, but a 363 on base percentage. And that's thanks to 27 ball four sprints earned compared to just 29 strikeouts, pretty close to 1-1. And he cranks that one up the middle. He is oh so good at hitting with runners in scoring position. Skull is the 3rd Party Animal to safely touch home here in the 1st. They have brought their bats back to Grayson. What a rally from the bad boys of Banana Land.
Yeah, and we saw them jump on Kyle Lewicks in the 1st inning in his last start in Portland, Maine. So this isn't exactly surprising, as most of the Party Animals' damage against Kyle Lewicks early on in the tour and even in these later months have come primarily in that 1st inning.
Now Sam Claycamp, teammate of Kyle's back in 2018 in both their maiden voyages in Banana Land. Now it's Lytle off of second, Swan off of first, who just collected his 40th run driven in on the season. Claycamp in his 3rd World Tour, 2nd with the Party Animals. 2018 was his lone season as a collegiate Banana. The pride of Columbus, Indiana, trying to pour it on here. Assistant coach on this team fouls off the breaking ball, and he's behind 1-2.
Yet we see Sam continue to draw a lot of starts against Cowboy Kyle. Overall, he's hit Lewicks pretty well, batting .308. Also homered off of Kyle in Durham over the Blue Monster. You've got to remember that. So sometimes it's just a confidence thing, but here it is. Kyle Lewicks is finally able to get out of the 1st, and he will strike out our donut hitter. That's right, the fans coming away with some Dunkin' tonight.
Free donuts for the full capacity crowd on hand. The 218th straight sold out. Bunch of fans here to appear in the true home of Banana Land, the Mecca, as we've come to know it. The 278th straight sold out crowd overall. And they are fired up to be getting some sweet confections hurled their way by Noah Bridges and company. We've got ourselves a little Pie Your Dad, a Grayson Stadium classic. Let's hear from Jesse real quick.
Winning some free donuts. We're going to have some fun here with a little game we like to call Pie My Dad. But we got some great Bananas gear. We got 5-year-old Harper with us, and she's got the chance to win some amazing Bananas gear, or Harper, or Pie Your Dad. So my first question, Harper, do you want this Bananas baseball, this banana ball, or do you want to pie your dad?
Pie my dad!
She's got to pie her dad. Here we go.
Great decision here made by Harper. There is the pie to the face. And that is a perfect segue into the Party Animals' defensive alignment tonight. They have a 3-run advantage already here in the first inning. Left to right in the outfield, you've already seen them all hit. Skullhampton and Thomas. You can say the same for Bryson Bloomer at third base. And of course, Acuff at short, Baber at second, and Slammin' Sammy Claycamp over at first. Lytle behind the dish, and Drew Gillespie gets his first start of the tour on the bump.
Yeah, it's a pretty good overall defensive alignment, and in the last game for the Party Animals, they were able to convert 6 trick plays. We saw 2 from Chase Acuff. Tanner Thomas came away with his 9th of the year, and Dustin Baber had the hat trick. He went from 73 to 76 trick plays in that last game, and here's the crazy part. Baber told me before that game, actually the night before, he was going to have 3 trick plays with Brett Helton on the mound. He nailed it.
That is a fact. Let's zoom in real quick on the Albuquerque, New Mexico native, Drew Gillespie, in his first tour as a Party Animal. Got picked up just a couple months ago for bullpen help, and he has shined in that role. A bit of an opener tonight as a fastball gets the bottom of the zone to DR Meadows, also in his first World Tour. The Doctor, the center fielder, takes the slider for strike 2. He's hitting .359, 2 points behind Dan Oberst for the Bananas. Lead in batting average, his .437 on base percentage is best amongst the Nanners, and he's even slugging .461, which is 11th best on the tour.
Yeah, and we saw DR Meadows pick up a couple doubles across Iowa. He actually has 4 doubles across his last 6 games, so that is really upped that slugging for DR Meadows as of late.
Has to look out for 4-seam, 2-seam, and cut fastballs, just like Cowboy Kyle chucks in there, and then Gillespie also employs a breaking ball. A changeup is the big difference in Arsenal. Kyle Lewis famously has never mastered it. Gillespie has a doozy of a change. Another 1-2. That one misses a hair down. Boy, oh boy. Awful close. And a 2-2 coming to David Ray Meadows.
Yeah, and you saw a very surprised Joe Lytle, who kind of pulled the trick out of Bill Leroy's book, trying to celebrate the punch out there, and had to do a little double take back at Vince, as now the missed call will come back to bite the Party Animals. DR Meadows goes the opposite way, and he will reach in the first inning with the single.
Yeah, we've seen a tight zone early on tonight from Vincent Chapman. Cowboy Kyle had a 3-1 pitch to Dalton Cornett that had every bit of the outside corner, called ball 4. Once again, Reese Hampton was stealing on it, so Vince didn't get the best look at it, with Bill grabbing it and immediately chucking the ball to second base. And now that one looked like it scraped the bottom of the knees. Looks like the Party Animals could have had a chance to erase the leadoff single. Really funky hop there for Chase Acuff. I would love a look at that again. I know our tremendous man Keegan Woods on the replay machine tonight. Of course, it feels like an error, but as we get another look here, I don't think it is. That took a demon hop on Mr. Acuff.
It really, to me, does not feel like you can chalk that up as an error. That's just a really unfortunate, funky bounce there that goes in favor of the Bananas. I mean, when you have something like that happen as a fielder, unless you're on stilts, you really don't have a play at that ball.
That's a fact. It would have been a perfect grounder to Dakota Stilts All-Britain. Well, all of a sudden, Dan Oberst represents the inning tying run as he fouls the cutter off. 1-1 count now. Oberst in his 5th year as a Banana, his 2nd tour. Kid out of Largo, Florida. Started his collegiate career in junior college at Indian River State and finished up with 3 years at the University of West Georgia, where in his 5th and final season of collegiate action, he was the Gulf South Conference Player of the Year. And for the 2nd straight tour, he's one of the best offensive weapon that either side has.
He's never really missed a beat in his banana ball career, as he's going to go down on the breaking ball there from Drew Gillespie. Just wrapping up that thought on Dan Oberst. Hit over 400 across the 2022 World Tour and now has followed it up in a much longer season, batting over 360 on the year. Just such a consistent offensive force in the middle of the order for the Bananas.
Yeah, he was the tour leader in batting average, hitting .440 across the 12-game series between the Nanners and Animals last year. That went off the end of the bat from Eric Jones Jr. He's this year's tour leader in long balls with 12 of them. That one clearly does not have the distance, though, as Reese Hampton there to clean it up. And now the fate of the inning lies in the hands of Dakota McFadden in his 3rd World Tour. He can also lose a ball awful easily, hitting .284, his 9 homers, 3rd best overall, 2nd best on the Bananas.
And it's a really interesting situation for Dakota McFadden to find himself in right here for a couple of reasons. Still hitless against Drew Gillespie this season, and it does look like it'll remain that way. Chase Acuff will be able to take that bouncer over on the throw to first base, and it is the Party Animals who jump out to a 1-point edge after 1 here in Savannah.
They skunked the Bananas 3-0, lead by 1 in the all-important points category. And Josh, let's see why Brett Helton earned his 3rd Showman of the Night award this past Saturday in Des Moines, Iowa.
I'm not sure we've ever seen a more deserving showman award this season. We're going to get it started early. Brett Helton in the 1st, runner in scoring position. EJ's going down. Trick play from Dustin Baber. Here in the 3rd, Helton. What a beautiful changeup here against number 13, Dalton Malden. And now look at this in the 4th. Helton kind of boogieing out there, facing Michael Deeb. This one's going to be grounded over to Baber again, and that is a snazzy little trick play from Baber. Helton still grooving here in the 4th, facing Dan the Man Oberst. And this one's going to be swung on, hit over to shortstop. Chase Acuff charging and making a really nice play on Dan. And EJ, the last batter here in the 3rd, that is a 3-up, 3-down inning as Jones, number 3, goes down swinging. Helton is taking a bow with his teammates, and I don't think that's all he wants to do here. Oh, that's a backflip from Brett Helton. Come on now, 119 MPI, why wouldn't you do that? Here in the 7th, D-Mac goes down swinging with a runner in scoring position and doing his best Karate Kid, little Daniel LaRusso action there. Here in the 9th, it is Helton with the fans into this ball game, looking for the first 9-inning complete game. He was able to retire the Bananas and get the win. I mean, an unbelievable accomplishment. Congratulations, Brett, on the showman and the first ever 9-inning complete game in Banana Ball history.
Thanks. I've been wanting that all year. Everyone wants that. If you're a starting pitcher, the only thing that matters is like someday you want to go all 9, and that was really awesome. I've been waiting for it all year. Vava trusted me. He kept asking me after the 7th. He goes, "You good?" I said, "I'm good." After the 8th, you guys said, "This is my game." He said, "All right, go kill it." And then we did, and it was perfect. We fielded great. I felt awesome. Nothing beats that.
Now, you were a two-way guy in your 3 years at Utah, as we get 9, 10, and 1 here. Baber, Acuff, and then back at the top of the order, Hampton due to swing it. And Babes is going to start off the top of the 2nd inning with a crack up the middle.
Boys.
That's a fact. The bats have been brought back to Banana from Des Moines, at least for the boys in black and pink. Now Chase Acuff, Baber's partner in the middle of the infield, the shortstop for the Animals, will swing away. So I'm guessing in your time at Utah and your 4 years of minor league ball in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization, you didn't get a whole lot of opportunities for complete games.
No, I really didn't. When you get to pro ball, it's all about pitch count and this and effort and max level, that type of stuff. So going 9 is almost impossible in the minor leagues because they don't want you to. It doesn't matter. In the big leagues, when you got your best guy on the mound, they're going to let you go as long as you can last. And that's just not the case in college. There's too many guys. Bullpen's too good. There's too many studs. You got seniors. You got, they're 22 years old. It's just kind of impossible to try and get a whole game yourself.
Now, Brett, kind of a question that comes into my mind is, again, the complete game, history, like that's cool enough, but you guys are currently going to have to need to win out the rest of these games to win the tour against the Bananas. Do you feel like, knowing that that was still in play in the last game in Iowa, did that factor into you being able to go the distance in that ball game?
Yeah, big time. You know, like, big players come from big moments, and I want those. There's a lot of guys on this team that want those, and they thrive on them. And like when I'm thinking about it right there, and I'm like, this is a make or break game, I was like, I want the ball, and it worked out. So that's one of those things where everything fell right in place, and you know, I think we got a chance to win out.
Everything not falling right in place for Cowboy Kyle so far tonight. He already has to face the best hitter on the tour for the second time in the ball game, and we're in the top of the second inning. He doesn't have an out. Single from Dustin Baber, an error from Ryan Cox there at short. You don't see that very often. And now Hampton, who on the first pitch of the ball game shot a single through the left side of the infield, is behind no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that actually snaps a pretty nice streak there for Ryan Cox. He had been playing 14 consecutive games without an error at shortstop for the Bananas.
That's solid. You love that as a pitcher, knowing your dude's got your back.
Yeah, especially at the hottest corner in the field, at least as far as action goes. There's a reason why they call third base the hot corner, but I digress. Hampton's 2 for 2, and the bags are juiced for Dalton Cornett, who worked a 5-ball sprint an inning ago, which we have well documented, where the 4th ball was in that one, but I digress once again. How about this? Cornett is gonna munch some chips and salsa here, and I think he's gonna just leave the table like right on the edge of the outside corner.
Kyle's got a nice little window. If he throws in the window, it's a strike. That's the beauty of that, but he's looking down a tunnel aisle right there.
That's right on the edge. Might be hovering over the black. Cornett, a fellow catcher, knows how tough the job can be back there for Leroy, so he gives him a chip as well. And now a 2-0 count as Baber leads off third, Acuff off second, Hampton off of first. Chad Reese, did you just tell us that we are coming over the PA in the stadium? Oh, okay. That's good to know. I heard you're coming over PA, and I was like, what do you mean?
Now, Brett, are you familiar with any of the salsa options down there on the field?
I mean, my favorite is the picante, so if one of those, that's the one that I'm going to choose no matter what, and I think I can smell it all the way from up here. I like it so much. Uh-oh.
Dalton swinging 3-0, drives that one deep to right center. Hosley able to track it down. It's going to score Baber easily from third as Acuff follows him there. And after a 3-run first inning, the Party Animals push another across here in the second. '40th run driven in on the season for Dalton Cornett.
Get it, boys.
Bloomers in the circle. Now Jake Lialios and Dylan Porter get some love. Shaking that Tookus, and now Brandon Sherman, a fellow member of the tribe, is gonna break down a little Rasputin action. Nice dance circle from the fellas.
Sounds good.
Number 4, Tanner
A sack fly for Cornett. Acuff now 90 feet from scoring. Hampton is across the diamond from him at first base. We already seen him score once tonight. And Tanner Thomas, who drove in Reese with a single an inning ago, will swing away. Kyle checking on Hampton. Fastball fouled away. Now, Brett, we know you really take a lot of pride in minutes per inning, which is one of our favorite statistics here in our young sport. That one shanked foul. Fans do not make a play. How, when you're going across a 9-inning ball game, are you able to throw what was the 5th fastest and now is the 6th fastest inning of banana ball?
Yeah, as long as my plan was going well, so I just stuck to it, and it's the same plan I've been with for about 6-7 weeks now. And when that plan works out, when I'm throwing, I'm filling up the zone, I'm getting ahead early, and I'm trying to read their swings and throw the pitches that go to their weak spots. Sometimes you can get lucky. Lots of times you get fooled. They're sitting. They got a new approach that you weren't expecting. But when you have a fast inning, you know that I did all those things. I got them to swing at pitches that I wanted to swing at, and everything was working my way. So it's a little bit of luck. It's a little bit of a good coin toss sometimes. If I throw a curveball and they're looking fastball, it doesn't really matter how good their swing is. It's you can probably get one by them. But those fast innings are a lot of fun. That's kind of our bragging rights for this season, I think.
That'll be Jake Skoll as Tanner Thomas strikes out and Reese Hampton steals second. 2 men in scoring position for the Party Animals left fielder, who bounced into a fielder's choice and scored in the first.
Now, Brett, going across a game that long, how do you stay so pitch efficient? I mean, obviously you would think you would endure a lot of long counts, but that really didn't happen to you as you didn't cross the 100 pitch threshold until the 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
What do you chalk that up to?
Throwing strikes will always be the most important thing ever.
Right.
But there was a lot of times where I was faced with a 3-ball count, and instead of trying to trick them or trying to miss their barrel, I was like, you know what, this is it. This is time to go. I'm not walking this dude. I'm gonna throw it over the plate. So I challenged him with 3 balls a lot, and that saved my walks. It saved my pitch counts. Some of those swings were good, and then outfielders made great plays on them, and some of them were, I got to miss the barrel and they got out. So it just worked out. But trying to fill up the zone and never giving into a walk is definitely going to help you out.
Huge payoff pitch is popped foul. Bill Leroy is able to make a snag. Kyle gives up a run but strains 2 Party Animals in scoring position, and the Nanners just need 1 run to tie, 2 runs to win the 2nd inning, and even this game up at a point apiece.
And all things considered, that's a good job by Cowboy Kyle, being able to get out of a sticky situation there. It's an unearned run in the inning, and a great play by Bill Leroy, getting to move Vincent Chapman a little bit to still be able to make that catch.
Yeah, it was very delicate movement there from Bill Leroy before he snagged it.
They needed that big time. When bases loaded, no outs, that was a really good job of him getting out of that with minimum damage there.
Yes, it could have been a lot worse. Now, we talked about it on Friday night when we had you on the broadcast when we were in Des Moines, Iowa, but we are even closer to the date, so it bears repeating. You're going to cut off 10 inches of that beautiful hair of yours on Monday's game here in historic Grayson Stadium, which of course the broadcast will be for free and on YouTube. It's going to be a doozy, and if we get up to $30,000 donated to Bananas Foster, you will shave the whole thing off.
Yep, I just talked to Jolie today. She threw out a new update. We're actually at 14,000, so my friend over here, his mustache is not safe because at 15, his mustache is going, but we're getting closer every day. I'm so excited about it. It's such an awesome thing we're going to do with Bananas Fosters and Wigs for Kids. They're going to be out here to monitor it and make sure they're there. Some of the kids are going to come down and cut the hair. So as far as events that I've been a part of, this is probably my favorite ever, and the one I'm most excited for. Donating my hair, doing something good. It's been about 4.5 years since I had a haircut, so I can't waste it on nothing. So as of right now, we're at 14 inches. I would love to shave my head if we get to 30. I think that would be awesome. I don't know what I would do without it. I haven't looked at myself in the mirror and had a shaved or buzzed head in a very, very long time, so that'll be freakish. But I'm down for the cause if we can get there. Again, if you guys want to head over to my Instagram, at Brett Helton, you can check out the link in my bio. That's the donation link right there. You can click on it, give as much as you want, $5, $10, $1 million. I don't care what you want to do. But no matter what, anything helps, and then you're a part of the cause. I signed a lot of cards and sent them out to the people as thank yous. I got videos going out to you. So my appreciation is very, very high, and the least I could do was send out a couple things to the fans. But a couple prizes coming your way, and afterwards, I don't even know what I'm going to do when this whole thing's over. There might be another prize coming towards everybody. But as of right now, we're about halfway to the big goal, and we definitely flew past my first 2 goals. So you guys, the fans, made that happen, and I can't wait for Monday.
It's going to be 6, 7, 8 for the Nanners here. Bill Leroy, Ryan Cox, and Jackson Olsen due to swing it against Drew Gillespie, who gave a pair of singles in the first, but then stranded both men on base. Reese Hampton uses that 80-grade speed to track down that fly ball. Leroy is retired, and with 1 away, it'll be the Nanners shortstop, Ryan Cox, who will swing away. Now, by the way you are talking to us about this, Brett, you have come to terms with losing the beautiful head of hair that you've been growing for the past 4.5 years here, which is basically half of your professional baseball career. Josh, have you come to terms with losing that really magnificent stash of yours?
I have been thinking about it a lot, and it's going to be a fun change of pace. That's what I continue to tell lots of people, so I am looking forward to it. Is we're going to get a trick play here from Dustin Baber going between the legs and bouncing that over to Sam Claycamp at first base.
It's funny. There's a lot of comparisons I get. It's like a very easy icebreaker for people to come up to me and be like, "Hey, has anyone told you that you look like this person?" And I get a few people all the time. So it's going to be interesting to see like if anyone has some sort of thing to compare me to when I don't have any hair anymore. We'll see what I look like. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, my Miles Teller comparisons are going to be out the window now.
Jackson Olsen is the last hope for the Nanners. He represents the inning tying run. He's got 5 bombs on the season and is one of 3 Bananas hitting above 300 here in Grayson Stadium, alongside D.R. Meadows and Dan Oberst. Quickly behind 1 and 2. And Gillespie, oh baby, where in the world did that miss?
That is the second time we've seen that in 2 innings here for the Party Animals. You saw Drew this time, who was the man running off the mound waiting to celebrate. And see, that's just a lesson learned by Joe Lytle, who did not get up from the catcher's crouch there. And how about this? Once again, the call not being a strike there is going to come back to hurt the Party Animals. It's Olsen reaching an opposite field single and Malachi Mitchell coming into pinch run now here in the second.
That's a pitch you dream of, a slide step backdoor slider, and didn't get rewarded.
It was, and then he went back to the well through the exact same pitch, and it was a supremely great piece of hitting by Jackson Olsen to serve it into left. Flash the kid over at first. Yeah, that's a fact, which is the exact same thing that D.R. Meadows did when he should have been struck out in the bottom of the first inning, and he lined a base hit the other way.
Yep.
Next pitch. So Gillespie should have 2 more strikeouts, should be out of the inning, should have 2 less hits given up.
And would have had an MPI mark below 2 minutes. Yeah, it hurts.
It was just such a beautiful backdoor curveball.
There was about 4 people in the field that were all running about the same time. That perfect hop step. Yep, we're out of here. Oh, no.
You guys have it synchronized at this point, huh?
I'd love to see that right away. Just all 4 of those guys in the middle running the dugout.
I think Skull and Hampton share a brain sometimes, you know?
I know.
And now it's going to be a 2-2 count. Danny Hosley, who leads the tour with his 26 walk-offs, represents the inning-winning run.
Hosley is the most walk-offs?
That's a fact. 3 more than Dakota McFadden, who's in second place.
Wow. Talk about clutch.
Danny Do-It-All does some damage.
Oh, no.
That is a wild pickoff attempt by Gillespie. Malachi Mitchell is going to head all the way from first to third.
Eat it, eat it.
2-base error from Connor. Check that, Drew. It was a Connor Gillespie I broadcasted back in the Sardi Stallions days, summer 2016. And I hadn't called Drew Connor in a long time, but I was due. Deuce is wild. Inning tying run 90 feet away. And that one cranked right to Chase Acuff. The ball doesn't lie.
He had a clutch AB, but sometimes the guys are in the right spot. If you can hit it where they ain't, you're going to love that a lot more than lining out 2 guys standing right there.
It's baseball, and that's banana ball. Great piece of hitting by Danny Hosley. But Helton and the Party Animals had a guy there.
Yep.
Well, now it's going to be Boogie O'Clock. We will be back in the booth with Brett after Maceo Harrison and the fellas dance us into the 3rd inning. Party Animals up 2 points. An incredible dance by Maceo and the fellas. Connor Higgins, DJ the Invader, Alex Ziegler, Matt Malatesta, Noah Bridges, and Malachi Mitchell all involved in that one. Takes a big crew to entertain a full capacity crowd here in historic Grayson Stadium. Pico Scala back with Josh Talevsky, and we are still joined by Brett Helton in the booth, who is coming off his 3rd Showman of the Night award and the first ever 9-inning complete game in Banana Ball history. His Party Animals lead 2-0. It's going to be 5-6-7 here in the top of the 3rd. Bryson Bloomer, Joe Lytle, and Jason Swan due to swing it. And a 2-1 count on the Boomer, who had an RBI single his first time. So, Brett, you guys are 1 of 9 so far now in needing to win 9 straight to end the tour, to come from behind and seize victory from the jaws of defeat. So you have to do 2 times what the 04 Red Sox did and then add another game. But you already did add that game. How are the vibes in the locker room?
They're great. Today we had so much juice. I don't know what it was being back home for the first time in a minute, but our locker room was buzzing. We're out here. BP was great. So the dudes are feeling good. It's a fresh new challenge. You know, I think we Cadillac a little bit there in the middle of summer. Lost a lot of games in a row, and that was big time for us. So it's kind of nice to have a little fire, because for a little while we thought we were the best, and then we realized we weren't, and then now we're like, we can prove it. So it's kind of fun to be sitting right here in a position to chase them.
It's 3-2-2 time, with a 1-0 pitch coming to Lytle. Kyle, Coxie, EJ, and DR all ripping out a little synchronized dance. In fact, Kyle with a big solo here, down to a knee. His backup dancer's still in unison, and Lytle fouls it off.
Brett, what is your dream 3-2-2?
I don't know. Something that's really fast and exciting. I've always been fascinated by breakdancing. If I could learn how to breakdance and do some really cool trick like a windmill or something, I think that would be awesome. But that's a little ways away, I think. I'd have to hang out with Maceo for a while before I could whip that one out. But something like that, acrobatic, would be sweet.
We've added the backflip. I bet breakdancing can't be that much harder.
Yeah, I could probably figure it out.
Heater just misses up and out. 2-2 count coming to the Party Animals catcher, who bounced into a fielder's choice his first time. Way foul, look out, Emerson. The Iron Horse of BTV has to abandon ship for a second, but she avoided any injury.
That's +5 agility for her stats.
Another 2-2 coming. A little trickery from Mr. Lewigs, and Lytle able to foul off a 90-mile-an-hour heater at the top of the zone. Of course, TrackMan on that. So we'll get our third 2-2 pitch. Cut and a miss. Well-executed slider. And Mr. Lewigs has his 3rd strikeout.
He's well over 100 strikeouts now, isn't he?
Oh, big time. We come into this at-bat here. I meddled with his stats. 50 since June 1st is all that I can tell you.
It would be 110 total on the season.
There it is.
That's a lot. That's really good.
I was waiting for you. I didn't want to steal your thunder there, though.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I had goofed up my spreadsheet by deleting everything before June 1st. All of a sudden, things got a little funky. 0-2 count on Jason Swan. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI single. Now Jackson Olsen and Dakota McFadden joining Kyle on the bump, and they're breaking out the slingshot. We've seen this used once this year. It was a ball. This is a 3-man team looking for a strikeout, and it is a wild pitch. Fortuitous bounce for Leroy, though, so Swanee doesn't try and steal first.
He thought about taking it.
Jason's done it once this year. He's successful in his lone try.
The launch ball was 54 miles an hour.
Oh, good work, TrackMan. And good note there, Mr. Helton. Cutter just misses the outside corner. And a 2-2 with 2 down.
You want to be our new TrackMan guy when you're not on the mound?
I would enjoy that. It's actually really fun to watch.
We badly missed Bryson Wheeler up in the broadcast booth. That bender just barely misses the zone, and the count is full. Swanee
horse
works an 0-2 count, gets a sprint.
We love
He's
it.
off
We
to
love
the
it.
races.
2 outs, you gotta go. Ooh, we shut it down.
And that was probably a good decision. Really clean sprint defense by the Nanners.
When they're clean, it's really hard to tell a guy to go because they're pretty quick.
And speaking of sprint defense, since about this northeast leg of the tour, we've seen the Party Animal sprint defense improve dramatically. You know, what kind of insights have you been able to see on why that sprint defense has improved so much, and just what does that feel like on your end now, being able to know that your guys much better at limiting the Bananas to just one base on a sprint.
To be honest, it was an attitude change because when we were winning so much, we didn't care. We were hitting so well, we could win any inning we wanted. Walks didn't matter. We had 3 across the board already. But now when we're fighting back, we're like, all right, that second base matters. Like, we really need to get, a fire to get in there and get it stopped, because we know how important keeping them off second base is. So it took us a lot of losses in a row for us to be like, all right, let's change our strategy. Let's work a little harder. We can't just get away with raking every game.
Sammy Claycamp, a strikeout his first time. Blown away by an elevated fastball. We'll see what Kyle goes to on 0-2 here. There goes Jason Swan. Pitch outside. Bill Leroy tries to go behind his back. I don't think he had a shot in the world at getting Jason Swan either way, who is now 13 for 14 in his stolen base tries.
I like when he tries it there. It was 0-2. He's got 2 more pitches to waste. He can make him fish. He can try and get him to swing at something bad. Him doing a trick play there isn't bad with 2 strikes and 2 outs. I like it.
Front door bender nearly clips slamming Sammy. And Deuce is wild once again. Cut and a miss.
There you go, paid off.
That was a tight slider as Kyle strikes out Claycamp for the second time tonight. That's Mr. Lewig's 4th K on the evening. Keeps the Party Animals off the board. Nanners just need a run to cut the Party Animals lead in points in half. And let's listen in to our guy, Jake the Magician. What do you got for us? Magic time.
We all know the Bananas originally were a collegiate baseball team, and so I have made a little prediction here. I'm here with Claire, and Claire, I want you to pick a college. You have one pick. I want you to think about it in your mind. Claire, I've got my prediction for the first time. What school are you thinking of?
LSU.
LSU. Let's take a look at the prediction. I predicted exactly... that's Notre Dame. That's not LSU. But you know what, Biko? That look a little better to you? That is my ode to the Bananas collegiate baseball days. Biko, back to you in the booth.
Jake Schwartz, you are a magical man. I mean, I know that is literally what your job is, but it continues to really impress me.
Look, I usually love his tricks, but LSU, really? I mean, where I come from, we only cheer on the dogs here.
It's a fact. You're currently wearing Georgia Bulldogs socks.
And drinking from my Georgia tumbler, so what a homer, huh?
Dogs kick off for the first time on Saturday?
Yeah, against UT Martin. It's going to be a good one.
Should be a barn burner.
You would really hope. You would really hope.
I'm sure the Dogs tossed UT Martin a couple shekels for the first matchup of the year. Should be fun. We're having a blast so far tonight. Drew Gillespie out for his 3rd inning of work. It's going to be the bottom of the order trying to feed the top. Vinny Derubius cuts and misses at a fastball. And D.R. Meadows and Michael Deeb on deck and in the hole. Really nice bender. Quickly an 0-2 count. We still have Brett Helton in the booth. Obviously, Gillespie's only been around for a couple of months, but he has been a powerful addition to your bullpen. A 3.07 ERA in 14 2/3 innings of relief. How great has it been to get Gillespie on the squad as he picks up another strikeout? That is an insane bender.
Yeah, he's been so good for us. He's been big in relief. He's been big closing. He's been big starting. So a guy like him, he can come in, throw on any type of day. He can throw for any amount of innings. His presence is good. His attitude's good. Him being around has been a really awesome addition for us, in the locker room, outside the locker room, and on the field.
Boy, and you can tell he really has that curveball working today.
Just feed it, baby.
Front door variety to Mr. Meadows, steals a strike, then he drops down to sidearm, fires that lone away. I would wager our center field camera is down since we continue to go to low home for the pitches. Bloomer attacks this between the legs and gets one of the faster Nanners out for his 33rd trick play in 39 attempts on the tour.
And that's just good trick play feel by Bryson Bloomer, and he charged the ball hard enough that he knew he had the time to be able to go between the legs there and steal nab D.R. Meadows. And that's actually back-to-back trick plays in this inning for the Party Animals. Joe Lytle, I saw it, intentionally tried to bounce that ball like Dustin Baber over to first base. That's a trick play for Lytle, his 2nd.
That's fun.
3rd of the night for the Party Animals. Nanners still looking for their 1st. Lytle now 2 for 4 in his trick play attempts on the tour. And a 1-1 count on Michael Deeb, who just like D.R. Meadows, had a single in his first at-bat. Mariners just need 1 run to win the inning. Deeb, a former Chicago White Sox minor leaguer, ahead 2 balls and a strike. You know, we talked about it when you first came up, Brett, as Maceo Harrison shakes that derriere like he just does not care. But it's tough in minor league baseball and Power 5 baseball in college to get complete games, but that was not your first on Saturday. In fact, your first year with the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks, you had a complete game shutout.
I did, yep, that was, and that's funny, it always comes with an asterisk, 7 innings, it's a doubleheader, so like, we think about it all the time, where like, and two, it's kind of funny here on Banana Ball, it's still hard for me to consider it because I got walked off on an inning, so technically I only had 8 runs because 1 inning I didn't finish, so it's one of those where like, that leaves a little room for error for me to be motivated to do it again, have that full 9.0 next to the game, and I need that shutout. So I gave up a run last game, so I'll just go ahead and the next thing on my list is my 9-inning complete game shutout.
Right, where it actually in the book is 9 innings, which by the way was not your fault that you didn't get 9. It was 2 runs scored in the 3rd with 2 trick plays missed.
Yep.
And that is why you didn't get credit for any outs there. Dustin Baber, his 2nd trick play of the night, his 78th on the tour to lead the Party Animals, and Drew Gillespie holds serve. He continues to be magnificent.
Yep, I like that. We just need to keep rolling with what we're doing, going with our strengths. That's the best thing about this place is pro ball is not making you into something. College coaches aren't making you into something. You have the opportunity to come here and make your own character, rely on your own strengths, and really thrive as your own type of player and fit into our lineup somehow.
3 trick plays on the inning for the Party Animals. 1, 2, 3 go the Nanners. It's still a 2-point lead for the bad boys of Bananaland. And let's get it down to Jesse Cole because we have a brand new race. It is called the Pinata Race. Jesse, what do we got?
We've got Mason. He's going to hit the pinata. Noah's going to hit the pinata. And whoever gets the most candy, the sister, is going to be the winner. All right, Mason, you get your first swings here, and the pinata can't move. He's throwing candy. Noah, go up and take a swing. All right, go get the candy, kids. Go get the candy. No one's getting candy. And our pinata keeps getting hit, but no one's getting candy. Oh, there you go. Go, Mason, hit the pinata. Oh, this living pinata, who's going to get the most candy? This is exactly how we envision this. And I feel so bad for our living pinata. He's getting belted. We've got 10 seconds. Whoever's going to get the most candy. Only throw the candy when you get hit, pinata. Oh, pinata, you only throw pinata. There you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's check, see who our winner is. All right here. All right, we got Noah. It says there, we got here Mason, and we've got a complete tie. Let's hear it for our contestants. And there you have it, the living pinata. And there's gonna be a lot of
Well, that was a very fascinating promotion. Jesse Cole lets the full capacity crowd know that it might be the last time, as it's also the first time we ever tried the living pinata. A whole lot of cleanup for Dearman, Malatesta, Higgins and company down there. Of course, Avery and Alexis. And a good lot of groundskeeping as well. Takes an army to clean candy out of foul territory. It's going to be 9, 10, and 1. Dustin Baber with a healthy hack and a miss on a cutter right around the outside corner. And Babes now has to depart the batter's box because Vincent Chapman has called time. He dusts off home plate, throws away his mask, and is shaking that body like the world's only dancing home plate umpire can.
Brett, you see in the TrackMan miles per hour for that Vince mask throw?
Yep, straight up in the air, decent spin rate, a little bit of horizontal break. That's impressive.
Josh, what did TrackMan have on the velo there?
68 miles an hour.
That is incredible power from our home plate umpire. Baber with a hot shot up the middle his first time. So he's 1 for 1. A smile on the pride of Babson Park, Florida, who pops that one into shallow left. Deeb coming in, Cox coming out. And Mr. Vitamin D will catch it with a little cartwheel for some pizzazz at the end.
I can see in his eyes. He wants to rip that backflip, and someday I bet he'll probably catch round-off backflip someday.
You know, I was talking to the third-year Banana the other day in Des Moines about it, and Dakota McFadden, one of his partners in crime, who's been playing baseball with Deeb since the summer of 2020, and in the All-American Baseball Challenge together, he said the two of them, their bodies just are not built to fly through the sky like that. There's so much that can go wrong for superhumans that size.
They have so much muscle. It's got to take a lot of fast twitch fibers to make up for all that strength they got in that body.
It's a fact, but you have to be an inspiration for them as Deeb with another good run and another catch. He's retired the bottom two in the Party Animals lineup to begin the fourth inning. And now to the top of the order we go. Reese Hampton, 2 for 2 on the night with a run scored and a stolen base. What's new?
And that's back-to-back great decisions by Michael Deeb out there in left field, with Ryan Cox also moving out there into shallow left, calling off Coxie, making sure he's the man taking charge to make that catches. Cowboy Kyle had both Acup and Baber out in front of those pitches, and now Hampton out in front of this ball. And Deeb catching all 3 outs, and it's Kyle Lewicks who will get out of this inning in 1 minute and 31 seconds for the Bananas.
It's an awful quick one for Cowboy Kyle. It will put him 26th all-time with that inning on the MPI rankings.
Not bad.
Well, for the Greek god of MPI, to have him in the booth, Brett Helton, a man who has 3 of the 10 fastest innings of all time and 5 of the 15 fastest innings of all time. It's always good to see a man after your own talents down there.
It is always great. There was a little gal who gave me a special bracelet the other day, and most of the time our names are on it, but instead she put MPI King on my bracelet, which I thought was pretty awesome. And I was like, now that's a fan right there. And like, I give out all my bracelets. I get every single one to kids when they're asking for balls or whatever. I'm like, hey, I got this for you. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to give that one away. I think the MPI King bracelet, I think I'm just going to keep this one for myself.
That is ridiculous.
It was very cool. I was excited about it.
Well, there is only one MPI King.
So far.
Of course, that is a fact. On your first World Tour, but you've been remarkable. Brett Helton, thank you for being so generous with your time, too, as we hey baby our way into the bottom of the 4th inning, and Drew Gillespie gives us all a wave.
What a
That's
nice guy.
Awful nice down there. Can you leave us with this, Brett, because I want to let you get back to your teammates and the fun down on the field. Your dad, Barry, was an All-American football player at Colorado. Now you have Deion Sanders in at the helm. I'm sure there's some family investment there. How you feeling about the boys this year?
Big time. My family is deep Buffaloes. My dad went there. My parents met there. So both my mom and dad went there. My sister went there before me. I spent a ton of time when I was a senior in high school up there hanging out with Nicole, because that was like my dream school as well. And then I went to Utah to play baseball because they didn't have baseball. Then my little brother goes there. So my ties to the Buffaloes there really, really go deep. So we're going to hit a couple games this fall, get back into it. My sister was on the dance team there, so I used to go there and watch her on the football field, which was really cool. So we got some really awesome ties to that. That's a spark that we've been wanting to get the Buffaloes back on top and have a little bit more fun. So I'm stoked for the fall to get some football.
3, 4, 5 for the Nanners here. You see the team is projected at 2.7 wins on the season.
No kidding.
That is the lowest win total projection from Vegas in the FBS.
I am going to take the over on that.
Let's do it.
I'm taking over all day.
Brett Helton, once again, thank you so much for joining us, my dear man.
Of course. Thank you.
There goes the man, the myth, the legend, Brett Helton, as Dan Oberst
What did you do?
is going to strike out. But the throw from Joe Lytle taps him in the tush, and he's going to have first base as the potential inning-winning run. Pretty bizarre one there. Gillespie continues to dominate. He struck out Dan his first time as well, but now has to deal with one of the best base runners. Oberst 41 for 46 in his stolen base attempts, leading all players not named Malachi Mitchell. Eric Jones Jr. flew out to left his first time. Excellent stop by Joe Lytle. 2-1 count now on the Nanners' second baseman.
And that's got to feel good for Lytle, being able to make the block on that pitch after having the error earlier to start the inning. For Lytle, it's all about just making sure he can dial back in with Drew Gillespie, and for Gillespie to continue to execute pitches. He's done very well, still yet to allow a sprint to the Bananas, but in danger here. The count 3-1 on EJ.
Oberst takes off. The pitch is in. Party Animals need to get it to all 7 fielders behind the pitcher and catcher in short order as Dan's getting the wave around third. Throw coming from Skoll. No, it won't. He can't handle the flip from Tanner Thomas. And just like that, the Nanners cut the all-important lead in the points category for the Party Animals in half. It is a 2-1 ball game with 4 innings in the books.
And that's where you see getting Dan on base can be so valuable. Familiar with Tyler Gillum, the green light special base running system. It goes back to those CPL days. And Gillum had Dan off and running, expecting Gillespie to miss there. He did, and for Dan, you saw Tyler Gillum give him the wave from the jump. And the reason Skoll probably was not able to offer that throw home is the Party Animals just trying to rush a little too much that relay throw, and Dan in there safely. The Bananas finally getting back in this.
Let's throw it down to Emily Cole to honor our Bananas foster family of the night.
When Jesse and I became foster parents 3 years ago, we learned a lot about the foster care world, including the fact that there are over 400,000 kids across the country in care without a permanent home. So we started a 501c3 dedicated to celebrating those who are already doing amazing things in the foster care community while educating and hopefully inspiring others to get involved. That nonprofit's name is Bananas Foster, and tonight we have the honor of celebrating the Gwinnett family. Jenna and John became licensed in 2016, and the day that they received their license, they got their first placement, which shows what the dire need is for more foster families. Since then, they've welcomed 15 amazing kids into their home, 10 of whom they have successfully reunified with biological family, and 5 whom they've adopted into their amazing family. Fans, please stand and help us recognize this amazing family for what they're doing right here in Georgia to support our families.
Well, it is always a special moment wherever we are in Banana Land when we get to honor the superheroes making a difference in the foster care community. Shout out Jenna and John from the Gwinnett family, fostering since 2016, and a tale as old as time. They got their first placement the very day they received their license. It's mind-boggling.
It is really, really cool stuff, and just, again, wonderful. It was great to have it back in Iowa. It's just as great to be back in Savannah and still see the heroes in this community.
And it's what it's all about right there. I mean, they've welcomed 15 children into their home. Half of them have been reunited with their family. That is what really fires us up. And then they've also officially adopted 5 into theirs. So that is what we call a win-win. And now it will be Zach Phillips coming in for Kyle Lewig. So as we said on the pregame show, if Kyle's cruising going into the top of the 5th, we'll have a mic on him, obviously. It's been a bit of a struggle for the Richmond Hill kid, but he did bear down and put zeros up in the 3rd and the 4th inning. Leaves with his team just down 1 point. And now Zach Phillips, the man who spent 4 years in the Kansas City Royals minor league system, is coming in, and he's been superb in relief.
I mean, if you talk about a team or a team MVP out of the bullpen in August alone, it has got to be Zach Phillips for the Bananas. He's 2-0, a 2.13 earned run average in 12 2/3 innings pitched, and he's gotten backed by run support, and that's mainly because he's keeping the Party Animals and challengers off the board. 7 points earned, only 3 points lost here in August, and he's been doing it while making trick plays, working quickly, and overall making some pretty cool defensive gems as well.
It's a fact, and the perfect time to bring him in for Tyler Gillum and Adam Virant is for 2, 3, 4 in the order. Cornette, Thomas, and Skoll, 3 straight lefties.
And let's not forget, he's also coming off of a little piece of banana ball history himself, as he threw back-to-back sub-2-minute innings for the Bananas in his last contest at 155 and 149, as Dakota McFadden will field this one a little behind the first base bag and take it himself, as Dalton Cornette, the lefty, retired to start this inning.
Cornette now 0 for 1 on the night. He also has a sac fly, a sprint, and a run scored in his repertoire so far this evening. And Tanner Thomas, the right fielder, an RBI single his first time, a strikeout back in the second. Will try his luck against Phillips, who, just like Lewiggs and Gillespie, throws 4-seam, 2-seam, and cut fastballs. And adds in a curveball, just like Gillespie. To round out the arsenal, he throws a changeup. They are really, really similar pitches, just separated on each team. And also, of course, Gillespie, a southpaw. Check that. Gillespie, a righty, Phillips, a southpaw. That one sprayed foul and out of play. Tanner Thomas, one of 2 players to foul out to fans here in Grayson Stadium on the season. It was Ben Kozlowski, former Texas Ranger, who caught Tanner Thomas's pop off the third base side. And that is a well-executed heater. TrackMan had it at 89 miles an hour. Strikeout number 1 on the evening for Phillips.
And that's 2 strikeouts in the game now for Tanner Thomas, which is quite surprising. This is what we saw a lot from Tanner early on in the season, a lot of swing and miss in that bat. And we continue to see him just put more balls in play and also work much more patient and disciplined ABs. Just an off night for Tanner returning to Grayson tonight.
Some funkiness out of the pride of Texarkana, Texas. Fires that one down and out to Skoll, the man out of Woodstock, Georgia. Gets that one off the inside of his bat. EJ's gonna grab it in shallow right. And a very efficient and, of course, quick, because it's Zach Phillips. First inning of work.
What else is new? 2 minutes and 13 seconds, the mark for Zach Phillips here in the top of the 5th.
Nanners just need 1 run to even up this game at 2 points apiece, as they are 1 win away from clinching the season series against the Party Animals. Perfect time for us to break into some fan mail. It has been too long, and the fan mail piling up as we finally get to return to Grayson Stadium for the first time since the beginning of the bunch. He is Josh Chalevsky. I'm Biko Scala. Thanks so much for spending your Thursday night with us. Our fan mail tonight comes way by Brooks Rioni to the Bananas. Some really good artistry here. Brooks says, I got to see y'all play the Aussie Drop Bears game. I would love to come back sometime. Yeah, thank you so much. That is really a delight. You can hold that up so the people can truly admire the artistry.
Yeah, he's picked some great players. We've got the Stilts jersey. Bill Leroy's on here. He included Danny Hosley as well. And I love the gold, actually, kind of in place of the traditional yellow here. And man, just drew this logo to absolute perfection.
Okay, 2 for the price of 1 tonight. We've got some more artistry. Really good stuff. Let's see, you can break that one open, Josh. Dear Savannah Bananas, my name is Alexander, or just Xander. I'm 13 years old, and I really like Banana Ball. My mom showed me, and she's a bigger fan than I am. Don't have much to say, but here's some art I made of the Bananas and Party Animals. Have a good day. Also, trying to get good at card tricks. So here's my favorite card, and threw us a Xander Roberts Joker. Appreciate that, Xander. That is very kind of you. And the Bananas and Party Animals logo on here, pretty spot on.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed with the Party Animals logo as well. I mean, the artistic talent of our fans, man, it is A grade.
Xander and Brooks, you are both budding Bob Rosses. Incredible stuff from you. Front door bender fouled off by Dakota McFadden. Drew Gillespie extends his stay on the bump into the 5th inning. Gave up an unearned run in the 4th on a trick play missed by his catcher, Joe Lytle. As Drew started the inning off with a 3-pitch strikeout of Dan Oberst. And Lytle already with 1 trick play in his books on a strikeout earlier in the night. Tried to bowl the ball to first to make it 2 for 2. It clanged off of Dan Oberst, and he scored 5 pitches later on an Eric Jones Jr. walk-off sprint.
Yeah, that is really tough if you're Drew Gillespie, and you probably talk to Joe Lytle about it when you go back to the dugout, but consider this. Overall trick play feel not bad. You saw Joe convert one earlier. You were up a couple points in the ball game at that time that you do it as well. So overall a pretty safe play, but you don't expect it to cost you as much as it wound up doing.
Well, Gillespie still looks great. He's now officially in the scorebook, 3 1/3 innings in the books. He just picked up his 4th K. And the cutter is fouled off by Bill Leroy, who flew out to center his first time. Drew spent 6 years playing college baseball, half at the University of New Mexico, right, in his hometown city of Albuquerque, and then the second half at Southeastern University down in Lakeland, Florida, where they picked up an NAI national championship. Before joining the Party Animals bullpen, and now making his first start on the tour in 15 appearances, he was pitching for the Sydney Blue Sox in the Australian Baseball League, the top pro league in the land down under. That was this past winter. And a 2-2 count on the man with the mask for the Nanners.
And back-to-back great stops from Joe Lytle behind the dish there. You saw Bill try and think about taking off on the first one blocked by Lytle. This time he didn't even offer, based off of that initial reaction time for Joe Lytle, who is trying to blow this foul little tapper fair, and but to no avail.
He used the force there. Bill did, that is. More powerful than Lytle's attempt at waving it fair.
Oh,
2-2. Misses inside, and the count is full. Perfect time to announce that we have officially just hit $15,000 donated to Bananas Foster. Payoff pitch is cut on and missed. Back-to-back Ks to begin the bottom of the 5th for Drew Gillespie. And it's going to be up to Ryan Cox to try and start a 1-run rally that would win this inning. Josh Talevsky, that means that your mustache is being shaved off on Monday night's broadcast.
It is Benjamin Franklin. It's history.
That's a fact. Heater just misses the outside corner.
Man, it was, what a ride. Huh.
Over a year now.
You don't even know what I look like. You don't know my true form, you know?
Well, when I met you, you were clean-shaven.
Correct.
It was probably about a month or even less into your Bananas time that you started growing the stash.
It's like a week.
Correct. And then Top Gun Summer came after that. You were really the man who began it as Bryson Bloomer. Clean play over at third. And that is now 7 straight Bananas retired for Drew Gillespie, who continues to roll.
And you're seeing very much a Brett Helton strategy from Drew Gillespie, a guy who is mostly pounding the zone, and you saw with him running that count full against Bill Leroy before getting the strikeout, that was Gillespie saying, I'm not going to try and nibble, I'm just going to throw my best fastball, and Bill's going to have to hit it.
By the way, that's not even true in the slightest. I was looking at my Party Animal scorecard, where Zach Phillips and Kyle Lewis have combined for 7 straight men retired. That's 3 straight for Mr. Gillespie. Obviously, the last inning ended in a walk-off. Okay, now that I've cleaned that up, let's get it down to the young professor. One of our favorites from the brain of Carson Bowen, it's Keep Your Job.
Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we having a good time tonight, Savannah? 6, 7, 8. I didn't hear you. Are you having a good time? 9, 10. Serve that food, boys. Here we go. Let me get. Chris goes down. Mike goes down. They got to get that plate. They got to get to it. Here he goes. All right, they're up. Chris is up. Mike he dropped his drink, but he's getting there. Holding on there. Holding on. This is the best I've ever seen of him. Chris goes down. Oh no! Pick that up. You got to serve it. We got to just spin it out. Almost there. Pick it up. The couples are waiting. It's date night. Ladies and by just a hair, he throws it up there first with the quickness. Give it up for Mike, everybody. Winner of Dizzy Waiter.
To the public, it's called Dizzy Waiter. Behind the scenes, we still affectionately call it Keep Your Job. Because that is what Carson Bowen pitched it to us as when we were all on top deck having an idea palooza last summer.
This is my first ever idea palooza, I'll have you know, and it was a pretty magical experience. The light that just was in his eyes can't even be described. I'm getting emotional a little bit thinking about it.
Peter gets the top of the zone. 2 straight fastballs from Phillips, who continues to work awful quickly and induces a pop-up in the infield. Ryan Cox will lay down and take care of it. His first trick play of the night, his tour-leading 129th in 137 tries on the tour, and all of his teammates take a quick catnap with him.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple balls hit to Ryan Cox, but they haven't really been opportunities for Coxie to try and make a trick play here. So when he gets that pop-up, he knows exactly what that routine is, goes down to the ground, and is able to make a nice trick play snag here to back Zach Phillips to start the 6th.
4 straight party animals retired to begin Phillips' relief appearance. And he continues to pound the zone. 1-1 count on Joe Lytle, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. Phillips drops down, gets the top of the outside corner. And quick pitches. Quickly, even at 2 balls at 2 strikes.
And not surprising that Zach Phillips would try and quick pitch Joe Lytle here, as it's Lytle who's had a lot of success leading all party animals batters in batting average against Phillips. But here, great reaction there from Jackson Olsen, going down to the ground and coming up with the snag on that liner off the bat of Joe.
Yeah. A hot shot to the grade 8, who will be leading off the bottom of this inning. And now Jason Swan, an RBI single his first time. A sprint and then a stolen base in the 3rd inning. Swanee hails from 2 hours south of us. A Duval County kid out of Jacksonville. Spent all 5 years of his collegiate career about an hour west of us in Statesboro at Georgia Southern. 2 balls and a strike on the Party Animals EH.
And Swanee really feels like he's batting very well, as this one hit hard out to DR Meadows. Thinks about possibly catching it with that cowboy hat he's rocking out there in center field. Will catch it traditionally. And how about this? Zach Phillips, 2 minutes and 13 seconds in the 5th inning. He has repeated it here in the 6th.
That is mind-boggling. Back-to-back 2-minute and 13-second innings for Zach Phillips. He's taken care of all 6 party animals he's faced. We honor all the military members, both past and present, here in historic Grayson Stadium. And we get to chat with Jesse Cole, the owner here of this club. And the man in the yellow tux. Now, Jesse, Banana Ball's been played in 6 new states since we were last in Savannah to begin August. It's pretty astounding, but it's got to feel so good to be back where it all started.
Yeah, of course. You know, thinking back to when we first started here, we had no idea what the stadium looked like, how we could entertain fans. And now, you know, we have a pretty good feel here of what the stadium looks like and how to put on the best show. So it's great to be back. And, you know, these last 4 games here, it's a great opportunity to evaluate these guys. The players are comfortable here. They know how to play here. They know how to put on trick plays here. And to see, you know, hey, we go to the end of this tour, how are they going to be ready for next year?
Now, I'd like to take a brief trip back in history to last Saturday in Des Moines, and I would love to hear what your reaction was to DJ the Invader becoming the first banana baller to ever throw an inning under a minute.
You know, that's exactly what we've been looking for. It's the trick plays, it's the speed of the game. And we said, could someone break the 1-minute barrier? It's like the 4-minute mile, Roger Bannister,
yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
And once he broke it, now all the players know that it's possible. And that's special. You know, that speed of the game, you don't see that anywhere else. And I think it's the first of many to come in the years. And I'm so proud of DJ the Invader. He's worked so hard to work fast. And obviously the first one ever, that's a, you know, historical point right now. And that's going to be a trivia question years to come.
Well, speaking of speed of the game, the Greek god of MPI, Brett Helton, also threw the 6th fastest inning of all time, and along the way through the first ever 9-inning complete game in banana ball history. How cool was it to see that?
Amazing. Great to see what the Party Animals have done. They have a lot to be proud of. They have worked their butts off all tour, and it's been a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens these last few games in Savannah and the rest of the tour.
2-1 ball game. What's your prediction, Jess?
Coming down to the last inning. You got my number on it.
Thank you, my dear man.
I love you, Bigo.
Love you too, Jesse. There goes the owner of this club. The reason why we're all here, Emily Cole, his wife, and of course also a extremely key component of us all being here today. said the two of them should take a trip on their honeymoon to historic Grayson Stadium to take in a Sand Gnats game towards the fall of 2015. It turned out that would be the last season for the Sand Gnats, who shipped up to Columbia, South Carolina, with a brand new stadium being built up there in this beautiful, now 97-year-old ballpark as we sit here today, as Jackson sends it to his counterpart. Bloomer is able to take care of the grade 8 for out number 1. Olsen 1 for 2 now. It's pretty remarkable what Banana Land has turned into. Is Danny Hosley starting at a desk, and we have a fan challenge. I don't even need to look at the headset. I mean, we literally do not have to look at this play. I saw it with my eyes. He was out by a full step. I will throw on the Riedel headset, though.
You just can't beat chatting with Zach Frangelo.
Correct.
That's really the key takeaway here.
We'll throw Vincent Chapman in the mix. They're two true menches. We're challenging the play at first, and Jackson was out by a full step. So that'll do.
Call confirmed.
Okay, and the fans continue to struggle with their challenges.
That is one of the odder challenges I think you'll see in Banana Ball.
Jackson headed out towards first just in case. We made a very bizarre decision to overturn that.
By the way, fans now successful 2 times and unsuccessful 23 times.
That's what I was looking for. 2 for 25. We love the attempts. E for effort. So Danny now does his office walk-up, which I think just meant he came from a desk. Didn't really see anything else happen.
I didn't see a stapler and Jell-O either, so.
Desk wasn't wrapped in paper and truly made of cardboard. Okay, good to know. Hosley lined out his first time. Hot shot straight to short. Quickly behind. 0-2. That curveball has some serious bite to it tonight from Drew Gillespie, who's out in his 6th inning now.
It's a great curveball and impressive because on a lot of these 2-strike pitches is when I'm seeing Drew Gillespie really mess with some batter's timing. He actually kind of stood there and took a couple pumps before delivering there to Hosley, so took a little bit longer with his windup to Hosley, and the batter before, he quick pitched Olsen with 2 strikes on him.
Bender is down. 2-2 count. Clayton Kershaw's average spin rate on his legendary Hall of Fame curveball is about 2,300 RPMs. Gillespie's been right around that tonight. In fact, the first one he threw to Hosley was 2,338 RPMs. Another barrel from Haas, but he is now lined out to center and has nothing to show for 2 barrels.
And if that tells you anything, I mean, it just is a good way to show the level of talent that is here between the Bananas and the Party Animals on this year's World Tour. And again, Drew Gillespie has been such an important pickup for the Party Animals, mostly out of the bullpen, and now you're seeing it tonight out of the rotation. As Alex Ziegler sends a chopper with the big bat, Clay Camp goes behind the back and still is able to flip it on to Drew Gillespie there, barehanding it and retiring Ziggy. 2 minutes and 31 seconds. That's the MPI mark for Gillespie in the 6th.
6 straight retired for Drew. Any trick play on that one being awarded, Josh?
I don't feel good about giving that one a trick play. I've gotta be honest with you.
Neither do I, brah. But I appreciate the effort from Slammin' Sammy, who would have doubled his trick play total on the tour. He's 1 for 1 in his attempts thus far. That's not a failed attempt because he was able to get the out. It is time for a wife carry race, and as the young professor lets the 4,000 plus here in the hostess city of the South know about it, we must let you know that we're entering our Hoka's giveaway inning. We are speeding into the 7th. That means you have to click the link in the description on YouTube or the link we're dropping in the comment sections, both in the K Club and YouTube, and you will get yourself a chance at a free pair of Hokas if you throw in all your contact information, and then in the buzzword spot, you want to put cherry lime. That is cherry with a space, and then lime. Shout out Dalton Malden. And it looks like we have a clear winner here in the wife carry race. Really good work. All parties involved. A lot of great effort. I was lucky enough to get to pop on Jackson Moore's YouTube channel for a little interview yesterday. One of the questions he asked, what's your favorite Dalton Malden song? I said Cherry Lime, and son of a gun, we came in. Chad Reese said, let's shout out the songbird of our generation. I'm going to make the buzzword Cherry Lime. I said, Chad, what are the chances?
This is the first player-themed buzzword now.
Feels like it. Yeah. Who else but Dalton Malden?
I got to be honest, it's not even recency bias for me, but How'd You Keep Her is undoubtedly my favorite Dalton Malden song now.
Do you like it live or you like the studio recording?
Studio recording.
It's a banger. It's great live, but...
It is great live, but...
Once you add the keys in there...
Goodness.
Tell you what, the song released before How'd You Keep Her, Miss You Love You, was Jackson's favorite. Another great song that we've heard a handful of times on the tour.
I feel like How'd You Keep Her just kind of soars, you know?
It does. It's got a lot of oomph to it. Yeah. Feels like it should be a radio hit. Sammy Claycamp with a 2-2 count on him, takes a mighty hack and fouls off the fastball that TrackMan had coming in at 90 miles an hour on the dot from Zach Phillips, out for his third inning of relief. He's retired all 6 party animals he's faced. Cutter comes in up and in. And now a payoff pitch to begin the top of the 7th. That one cranked. Jackson Olsen, what a scoop! 360, throws it to Phillips, who throws it to first! Unbelievable! A 5-1-3 put out to begin the inning.
Unbelievable! And that is a trick play for the guys! Oh my goodness! Something they had talked about trying to do, and it was the perfect situation. A hard hit liner snared by Olsen, and how about Phillips just being there ready to be the cutoff man? Dakota McMahon, you know, just being able to hold the bag there. It's the easiest job, man.
Out of the hand for Jackson. I thought that was going to be like a 6-hopper to first. Like, why is he throwing it straight into the infield grass? But no, it was a perfect toss to his relay man, who has now retired all 7 party animals he's faced. And that is the first ever 5-1-3 trick play in banana ball history. Really incredible stuff. Now Dustin Baber will swing it. He was 1 for 2 on the night. Single and a run scored his first time. He flew out to left his last trip to the dish, and this time he will fly out to right. No, he won't. Danny Hosley tries to go behind his back, misses the trick play, and Baber will be the first party animal to reach against Zach Phillips tonight.
Yeah, an unfortunate situation there for Hosley, who wanted to get in on that fun with the bananas here. And for Hosley, started so well at converting trick plays. He made all 17 of his first trick plays successfully. Now he is 3 for his last 7 in trick play attempts.
He's been so good with those behind-the-back snags on the move. Has made a couple absolute doozies. Just barely misses that one. And now Chase Acuff, who reached on an error his first time, and just like Baber before him, and Reese Hampton, who is on deck, flew out to left his last time. That was the infamous 4 flyouts to left 4th inning that was the final 3 hitters Kyle Lewicks faced on the night. That one saws off Acuff. Phillips only has 1 play. He makes it at first. And Baber up to second with 2 outs as we go to the top of the order, and Reese Hampton, who's 2 for 3.
I've got unfortunate news for you.
Fans now coming to pitch.
Let's get to that in a second.
World's tallest pitcher. Please welcome Dakota Stilts Albritton.
Well, it's the most amazing sight in sports. All 10 feet 9 inches of Dakota Stilts Albritton sauntering out to the mound. And Josh, what's your bad news?
Well, the good news is Dakota Stilts Albritton is coming into this game. The unfortunate news that I was going to share is that Zach Phillips was above 2 minutes and 13 seconds on his minutes per inning mark, and we wouldn't see it 3 times in a row. He'll exit at 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Okay, so if the trick play had been made by Danny Hosley, at the end of the inning, it would have been 2:22.
You'd like to think somewhere around that vicinity.
Feels like it. Good to know. Well, 9 seconds too long for Zach Phillips. We're going to have to demand better from him when he's setting a pace of 2:13 every time, as it's a wild pitch from the pride of Ellaville, Georgia, and Baber will advance to third. And now a 2-0 count on the Animal center fielder. Of course, Baber is Phillips' runner. It will be an unearned run if he does come across, since he reached and the trick play missed. Long run, but Meadows able to track it down. And Stilts continues to do his job. He throws the out to Strand Baber at third, even though he started at second. Either way, came in with a man in scoring position. Party Animals fail to score. And the Banana Nanas will dance us into the bottom of the seventh.
And that's what Stilts does so well. The gritty and getting fly ball outs. His 24th batter to fly out against him. He's only got 9 ground outs.
About them apples. We'll be back after the Nanas boogie.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the Banana Nanas!
Oh, the Nanas just stupendous, as they always are. It feels so good to see the greatest dance troupe this side of the Mississippi back in action. Top of the order for the Nanners here in the bottom of the seventh. They trail by a point. And Drew Gillespie, who on the pregame show I said if things were going great would probably go 3 innings, is back out there on the bump. And he has 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top of the seventh.
And he, much like his teammate Brett Helton in the last start, is working very quickly. He has only thrown 75 pitches after that first pitch there to DR Meadows. So pretty good for Gillespie through 6 innings of work, 5 credited innings, of course.
Well, they're such similar pitches. They have the exact same arsenal, except for Gillespie also works around with 4-seam, 2-seam fastballs, where Helton is more 4-seam cutter, changeup, curveball, but they live in the zone. Helton low 90s, Gillespie high 80s with the heat. And now he's ahead of Michael Deeb 0-1. And bringing it around town with his middle infielders and center fielder behind him. Fires the heater wide. And a 1-1 count on Vitamin Deeb, who's 1 for 2 on the night.
He'll get the hang of it, don't worry. First ever 6-7-2-2 for Gillespie, and pretty soon he'll be nailing strikes left and right as well.
Normally it's a 6-2-2 for the Party Animals. It's a 7-2-2 this evening. They trail the Bananas by 7 games, with 8 games still on the schedule, counting tonight. So they could still win the tour. Still a 1-2 count here on Deeb. The Party Animals were 17-12-2 coming into June. 5 games better than the Bananas for the 3rd time on the tour. And as Maceo absolutely knocks his wrecking ball dance out of the park. And this one is tapped to first. Claycamp will keep it fair and chase down Michael Deeb. No, he's going to throw it over his head to a bare hand of Drew Gillespie for out number 2. The Party Animals only went 2-5 in June against the Bananas. Then they went 3-10 in July and are 4-6 here in August. And that has flipped the script from entering June up 5 games to now, as we're in the final day of August, down by 7, but they are 7 outs away from leaving down 6 games. Oh, under the leg! Reese Hampton, what a tremendous play to end a 1-2-3 frame for the Animals.
And Drew Gillespie gets out of the inning in just 2 minutes and 1 second there. What a gutsy play from Reese Hampton. We saw him go under the legs in Portland, Maine. He's pulling it back out here in Grayson Stadium. An unbelievable play.
The boys in black and pink are feeling themselves. They're back in the Peach State, where they have doubled up the Nanners on the tour. 10 wins compared to just 5 losses. They have already won the state and look to pour it on here tonight. They're up by a point as we head to the 8th inning. Let's get the young professor involved again. It's time for a blindfolded pillow fight.
Got to turn, you got to spin it out. We got to disorient you a little bit. In 3, 4, 5, fight! Here we go. They're swinging hard. Here we go. Oh, there's contact over there. There are 2 brothers over there. The feathers are flying everywhere. It's brother versus brother, Bryce versus Luke, swinging hard. Big Ben is taking it to Chase over here by third base. The pillows are completely kaput. They are wrecked everywhere. Here we go. Keep fighting. 3, 2, 1. Stop fighting, gentlemen. Stop fighting. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to pick our winners. How did we feel about Big Ben? What about Chase? How about Luke? And what about Bryce? Too close to call, but I'm going to give it to Bryce and Luke, the brothers of destruction out here. Give it up one time for our pillow fighters.
Well, the blindfolded pillow fight has quickly become one of my favorite promotions here in Bananaland. And quickly, we have entered the 8th inning. Matt Malatesta is going to be the new man on the mound. Time for a round of applause from everybody watching this ballgame for Zach Phillips, who faced 10 hitters. The only man to reach base was on a trick play missed. He took on every single guy in the Party Animals lineup and retired them for all intents and purposes.
It was unbelievable stuff yet again from Zach Phillips. And now the Bananas turn to another guy who has been fantastic this season, Matt Malatesta, a .221 opponent's batting average and allowed 2 sprints despite getting the save in his last outing. This was game 1 in Iowa. Malatesta has still not allowed a hit to the Party Animals in August.
And you said that Zach Phillips was the MVP out of the bullpen. It just shows you how strong these guys have been in the pen here in August for the Nanners. A big part of their 6-4 record here in our 7th month of the tour. Although Malatesta struggling to find the zone early here. It's 2-3-4. Cornette, Thomas, and Skoll, the same 3 guys that Phillips had on his maiden voyage this evening. Malatesta, a splitter specialist. We'll also mix in 2-seam fastball, sliders, and forkballs as Dalton Cornette muscles this one deep out to right, but Danny Hosley, twisting and turning, tracks it down for out number 1.
Yeah, great job by Danny Hosley. He got a good jump on that ball off the bat of Dalton Cornette and wisely turned himself around, played it off of the opposite shoulder there to be able to come up with that grab and keep Cornette from getting extra bases there on that liner.
The pride of Pipapassis, Kentucky, has been retired. And the man out of Fleming Island, Florida, takes his place in the left-handed batter's box. Fastball gets the top of the outside corner. No, Vincent Chapman calls it a ball. I agree with that decision. Dakota McFadden down to a knee behind his back to Matt Malatesta, and it is the first trick play of the tour for D-Mac.
And you could see it in his eyes a little bit down there. D-Mac, he's celebrating too, pumping the fists in the air there. Got the slow roller. You didn't see hustle out of the box for Tanner Thomas either. And D-Mac just making it look really smooth going behind the back as Malatesta quickly was running to the bag there so D-Mac could record his first trick play at first base.
Party Animals haven't notched a hit since the 2nd inning. They had 4 in the first, 2 in the second, and have been held hitless by Luix Phillips and now Malatesta since then, as Jake Skoll has a wave and a miss at the deceptive splitter. That's a sword for the man out of Brant Beach, New Jersey on the mound. This is where Brant Beach is located. One of the adopted hometowns of Matt Malatesta, who skips that one in. Excellent scoop by Bill Leroy, who tries to frame it on the bounce.
They call that the Pierzynski.
That's a fact. Would have worked in cricket. Malatesta originally out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, but bounced all around. And that one, it's the low outside corner. Nice backdoor slider from Malatesta, who sets down 2, 3, and 4 in order for the Party Animals. The Bananas bullpen has now tossed 4 scoreless innings of relief and continue to keep the offense in it as they're just down a point heading to the bottom of the 8th.
And look, we've got to give them the credit. Of course, Zach Phillips, who threw back-to-back 2-minute and 13-second innings. Matt Malatesta now comes in and fires a 2-minute and 40-second inning. These guys continue to go sub 3 minutes out of the bullpen.
We are absolutely cruising. About an hour and 35 minutes into our ball game, only have an inning and a half left. As if it's not Dakota Stilts Albritton, then this is the most amazing sight in sports. Time to turn historic Grayson Stadium yellow. It looks like Malachi Mitchell struggling to ascertain his flashlight down on the field with his running mitts on. And now he can join in on the fun. Oh! Delicate balance here for Flash the Kid. And yeah, this is like a Charlie Chaplin bit here. This is really what we're going to watch the entire time here. It is our 79th yellow of the tour. So when we have something fascinating like this, you really got to lock in and see if the third-year Banana can overcome the odds and hold on to this thing for more than 7 seconds. Yeah, there it goes again.
We love you so much, Banana Nation.
We love you so much, Banana Nation, and we love you so much, Malachi Mitchell. That was a valiant effort, man. Gainesville Floridian back into the dugout, hoping to get a pinch run opportunity. But base runners have been few and far between against Drew Gillespie, who has retired 9 straight nanners after he gave up an unearned run to allow them to walk off the 4th. It was this man, Eric Jones Jr., who worked the sprint to push in the run. On the first pitch, Bryson Bloomer takes care of him. And EJ, 0 for 2 on the night.
And Drew Gillespie has only thrown 82 pitches to this point for the Party Animals. And we've continued to harp on the Bananas bullpen minutes per inning marks. How about this for Drew Gillespie? He has only thrown 1 inning tonight above 4 minutes for the Party Animals. A 4-minute and 9-second inning to start the ball game in the first, as Acuff goes off of the leg, juggles that banana ball, and is able to nail Dakota McFadden at first base. What a trick play.
Masterful trickery from the Party Animals shortstop, his 40th trick play on the tour. That is a beauty. A little basketball, a little soccer involved, and just in the nick of time to Nav DMAC, who is hustling down the line. And Bill Leroy will make his grand entrance from the crowd. The 6-year Banana, the king of Dublin, Georgia, one of the twin princes of Bananaland, alongside his partner in crime, tonight's starting pitcher, Cowboy Kyle Lewigs. Trying to get something started. He swings at the first pitch, and a diving play. Did he get it? Yes! Justin Whitten, the third base umpire, says Jake Skoll came down with that diving catch, and this might be the fastest inning in Banana Ball history.
It is! It has been broken by Drew Gillespie! It's 52 seconds!
Back-to-back ball games, and the first 2 ever sub-1-minute innings in Banana Ball history.
We have a challenge, though.
We have a challenge on if Jake Skoll caught the ball in left. So Drew Gillespie may not have thrown the fastest inning in Banana Ball history. A lot hinges on whether this ball was trapped or not. We're watching. No, that ball was trapped.
That ball was trapped.
Oh,
guys.
that is devastating.
It's confirmed. It's a confirmed trap.
Oh. That is beyond devastating. DJ the Invader, you are still the only man in Banana Ball history with a sub 1 minute inning. And Chris Walker is going to point Bill Leroy back to first base. He was up at second. And will have to be content with a single. He represents the inning-winning run and will be pinch run for immediately by Malachi Mitchell. That breaks up the string of 11 straight Bananas retired by Drew Gillespie dating back to the start of the fifth.
Not only that, it does extend a 7-game hit streak now for Bill Leroy, who continues to become a better hitter as the game progresses, believe it or not. We look at the numbers, he bats 194 through innings 1 through 3, then 323 in the middle innings, 4 through 6. Bill bats 344 in the 7th inning and beyond for the Bananas.
It's winning time. Completely makes sense. That one rolled over by Ryan Cox. Dustin Baber between the legs over to first. His third trick play of the night, 79th of the tour. Here's the young professor.
Our gaze upon the scoreboard as we begin the top of the 9th inning. The score as it stands is 2 points for the Party Animals, 1 point for the Savannah Bananas. But here's the thing about the game of Banana Ball. In the final inning, every run counts for a point. That means it's time for the Bananas to hold the Party Animals right where they're at, score some runs, and win the whole thing right here at home. Ladies and gentlemen of Savannah, Georgia, welcome to the final inning.
With the Bananas down a point, they will turn to the best pitcher on the tour, Danny Hosley. No one does it like the kid out of Vienna, Virginia. Originally from Texas, Hosley spent time at 3 different colleges. Throughout 5 years of his collegiate baseball career, was a two-way man the whole way. Patrick and Henry Community College, a couple years at Norfolk State, and finished up this past spring, that would be the spring of 2022, at George Mason University. He throws 4-seam fastballs, changeups, and 12-6 curves, and the 3-pitch arsenal has been devastating to challengers and the Party Animals big time.
Yeah, and the Party Animals are batting 178 on the season against Danny Hosley. When you factor in the challenger batting averages as well, opponents are batting 168 against Danny Hosley on the season, who continues to put up some pretty remarkable numbers out of the pen for the Bananas. He is 14 for 17 in his save opportunities. This, of course, is not one, but has over a 4-to-1 strikeout to sprint ratio on the tour, and has also recorded at least 1 strikeout in 42 of 45 appearances on the tour.
His numbers are the definition of video game-esque. The finalist for the John Olerud Award, alongside Garrett Delano of the Party Animals. That's for the best two-way man in college baseball. And Hosley will set his sights on 5, 6, 7 here for the Animals. It's going to be Bloomer, Lytle, and Swan due to swing it. First up, the third baseman. He was 1 for 3 on the night. An RBI single, which brought him even with Jake Skoll, the man in front of him in the order, for the tour lead in RBIs, 52 apiece. Fly out and a pop out since then for the Boomer. And the Lexington, Kentucky native is behind 0-1. Tries to check his swing. Did he go? Chris Walker down the first base line says yes. And Bloomer behind, no balls and 2 strikes.
And I think this is where Banana Ball is very interesting if we can get into a really quick discussion on a matter. Danny Hosley will set Bryson Bloomer down, looking there with a great pitch against the Boomer. The Bananas in these last 2 innings have turned to their setup man and their closer despite not having the lead. But you're trying not to allow the Party Animals to get any more points. You're trying to keep it a 1-point game going into the 9th. And so that's why even when you don't have the lead, you are bringing those pitchers in these situations.
Fastball poured in at 90 on the dot, according to TrackMan. Lytle 0 for 3 on the night. Struck his last ball very well, a line out straight to Jackson Olsen at third. Before that, a strikeout, and he reached on a fielder's choice. First ball offered up by Hosley here in the top of the ninth. And make it a 2-2 count on the Party Animals catcher. That one bounced, grabbed by D-Mac, who will take it himself. He beats Lytle to the bag. 2 men up, 2 men retired by Hosley.
And that's a good play by Dakota McFadden, doing the little hop skip to be able to get that high chopper from Joe Lytle. And there you saw D-Mac thinking about taking his time over to the bag there, but Joe Lytle really booking it down the line. Good work, D-Mac, being aware of that, hustling to the bag to beat Lytle and get the second out of this inning for Hosley.
Now Jason Swan, who just like Lytle before him, his last time lined out. His was to center, though. Only time he's been retired tonight. RBI single in the first, 1-base sprint in the third. The good evening at the ballpark for Swanee, trying to be the first Party Animal to reach here in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, it's back-to-back great games for Swan. 3 RBIs across his last 2 games and got the multi-hit game in Iowa in Game 2. Now he's got another multi-hit game for the Party Animals, and this is coming after he had not recorded a multi-hit game since May 27th in Oklahoma City.
Jason Swan seeing beach balls right now, coming in from the Nanners pitching staff. It's baseball, and that is banana ball for you. You never see something in your life, and then all of a sudden it comes in droves. Never ceases to amaze. Sam Claycamp, couple strikeouts. They were both against Kyle Lewigs. Hosley checks on Swan, who's back safely. And his last time up, he bounced into the 5-1-3 trick play out. Jackson Olsen to Zach Phillips over to Dakota McFadden. First of its kind in banana ball history. That is an ugly swing and a foul tip. Third 0-2 count of the inning for Hosley.
Yeah, he is in the driver's seat here against Sam Claycamp, who is just 1 for 6 against Hosley on the tour. We'll see if he tries to nibble or go right after Claycamp, and going inside with the heater, he'll miss a little bit here as Bill checks on Swan over at first base.
Yeah, Jason getting a good amount of attention. For good reason, too. He's already stolen a base tonight. And he is 13 for 14 in his attempts on the tour as Hosley gives him another check-in.
Yeah, and it's wise that Danny Hosley is trying to check on Jason Swan. You get the feeling even with 2 outs, the Party Animals would like a runner in scoring position, then just a sprint or a base hit scores a run. But Hosley goes breaking ball here against Claycamp and will get the swing and the miss. That's a hat trick in the K department for Claycamp, and a 4-minute and 1-second inning for Hosley.
Back to the young professor.
Inside the batter's box and get to work. 1 run is 1 point. That'll tie it and send it to showdowns. But why settle for 1 when 2 will walk it off? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get nuts here in Savannah, because this is it!
If Matt Grafer, the young professor, doesn't fire you up, I don't know what does. Hosley does what he does. 2 Ks in the inning. Strands the 2-out single. He now has 82 strikeouts in 56 1/3 innings on the tour. And how about this? Just like I was saying, you don't see something ever before, and then all of a sudden, it's happening back-to-back. Drew Gillespie is trying to become the 2nd pitcher in banana ball history to toss a 9-inning complete game. The first was the very last banana ball game we played, Saturday in Des Moines, Iowa.
And as much as we raved about Brett Helton's complete game, Drew Gillespie's, to this point, if he's able to finish it and come away with the win, could be even more impressive. He's only allowed 1 unearned run, 4 hits to the Bananas. Helton allowed 7, and for Gillespie, he's allowed a sprint. Helton did not. But overall, done a much better job at keeping these Bananas off the base pass and racking up a couple more strikeouts in the process as well.
Yeah, Drew with 5 punch-outs, so 2 more than Helton collected in his complete game. As Jackson Olsen First man of the inning gets that off the end of the bat. Joe Lytle in foul territory. We'll make it 1 pitch and 1 out. And the grade 8 is 1 for 3 on the ball game. That passes the baton to Danny Hosley. He's squared up 2 balls tonight and has nothing to show for it. Lineouts to short and center.
By the way, Drew Gillespie has continued to work quicker as this game has progressed. If we look at the 5th inning on, 326 MPI, 231 MPI, 201 MPI, and a 1 minute and 27 minutes per inning mark in the last inning for the Party Animals. This is truly unbelievable, and it's kind of been aided by the fact that the last 3 leadoff batters in the last 3 innings for the Bananas have all swung at the first pitch and recorded outs.
Another hot shot from Hosley. Acuff with an incredible play. Deep in the hole, he gets the speedy Hosley. And the Nanners 3 pitches into the 9th, down to their final out.
What a great play by Chase Acuff, showing good range, and Hosley really booking it down the line, but you just chalk that up to a really good stop by Acuff and a great throw and stretch by Clay Camp at first base, and that's a prime reason you see Slam and Sammy continue to get these starts at first for the Party Animals.
Noah Bridges comes up empty on the first pitch changeup. Really well executed from Drew, who has all 6 of his pitches at his disposal here tonight. Now a 1-1 count on the 5-year man out of the University of Wilmington. University of North Carolina at Wilmington. That doesn't matter now. Bananas down to their final strike. Fouled off, out of play. We'll do another 1-2 pitch. The Albuquerque kid firing into the man out of 4 Oaks, North Carolina. Another 1-2. Backdoor bender just misses, and we have deuces wild here in the bottom of the 9th. Of course, let's make it a 3-2 count.
And it's good work by Drew Gillespie nibbling on that outside corner, which has caused problems to Noah Bridges. Now let's see if he changes up on the payoff.
Goes after him. Heater, pretty center cut, and we'll have another payoff pitch. Bridges pinch hitting off the bench, subbing in for Vinny DeRubius here in the DH spot. And Vincent Chapman says no, it was a 2-2 count, not 3-2. Josh Dolevsky says no, it was 3-2. I was pretty sure it was 3-2 as well.
Yeah, it's 3-2, but it's all semantics in Banana Ball, really.
Okay. Gillespie gets another ball to play with, so a 2-2 pitch. Chop to second. Baber between the legs, his 4th trick play of the night. Puts a bow on the second 9-inning complete game shutout in as many outings for the Party Animals, and also in the history of the 109 games played in Banana Ball. Unbelievable stuff from Brett Helton last Saturday and Drew Gillespie here tonight.
What a fantastic pitching performance from Drew Gillespie. Right after Brett Helton throws the first 9-inning complete game, Drew Gillespie finds a way to top his teammate. Only 4 hits allowed, and what's more, this is what you consider a Maddox in baseball and Banana Ball. He did it on 99 pitches for the Party Animals. What a job, Drew Gillespie.
He just snuck it in there, under 100. Incredible stuff from the Albuquerque kid. And as the Party Animals sneak out a 2-1 victory, they've taken back-to-back games and now trail the Bananas by just 6 games, with 7 left on the docket between these 2 squads on the tour. 2 straight wins for the Party Animals behind the first 2 9-inning complete games in Banana Ball history.
Just 2 absolute masterpieces. 2 guys who are coming out of, originally working out of the pen this season. Helton and Gillespie moving into the rotation for starts and giving it their all to win games for the Party Animals. And by the way, this is tied for the 10th fastest game in Banana Ball history, 1 hour and 52 minutes.
Oh, let's just remind you, this was Drew Gillespie's first start of the tour. Give him another. It is mind-boggling. Split can barely comprehend it. He finally picks himself up off the grass down there. He's Josh Chalevsky. I am Biko Scala. It was a historic ball game for many reasons. Dustin Baber ties his trick play high. He gets 4 trick plays. The last one you saw right there was his 80th of the tour, so he has 7 games to get 3 trick plays, at least a game basically, to join Ryan Cox at the 100 mark here on the season. And Drew Gillespie, I mean, we've waxed poetic about it, but son of a gun, we can't talk about it enough. He only allows 1 unearned run and goes 9 innings, pitches through 9 innings, gets credit for 8. An insane performance by Mr. Gillespie.
And you've got to consider this. If Joe Lytle doesn't miss with the trick play on the throw down there with Dan Oberst, it would have been a punch out to start that inning for Drew Gillespie, and very well have continued to keep the Bananas off the board there. He had not pitched from the stretch very much, then had to go to the stretch against EJ, and unfortunately lost him in that ball for a sprint. We also could have seen a shutout from Drew Gillespie, which is unbelievable, and really this is kind of a warning sign now for the Bananas, who the bats have really been scuffling these past 3 games going back to the series in Iowa.
They have scored 3 runs across the last 18 innings that they've hit in. All 3 of them have been unearned. So if not for the Party Animals defense gifting them the 3 runs on 3 combined trick play missed, the Bananas would be on an 18-inning scoreless streak. I mean, you don't know what would happen in those innings. That's only 3 outs unaccounted for of the 6 in total that Helton and Gillespie would have needed. But still, I mean, the Party Animals have gifted the Bananas the only 3 runs they've scored across the last 2 ball games.
And we're seeing an aggressive approach from these Bananas batters. Maybe going into these next couple of games against the Party Animals, you hopefully want to see them take more pitches against these Party Animals starters, as again, Brett Helton didn't cross the 100 pitch plateau in his complete game until the 9th inning in the last game. Bananas saw 109 pitches total from Helton in game 2 in Iowa, and now tonight they don't even see 100 against Drew Gillespie as he throws the Maddox 99 pitches for Gillespie.
Yes, and for anybody at home, that is a complete game in under 100 pitches, so he snuck in there just at the last second. I mean, incredible stuff. I believe Mike Vivacis and Sam Claycamp have told us that Sean Fluke will be going tomorrow, so a really similar pitcher to Brett Helton and Drew Gillespie, except we keep lowering the velo and increasing the craftiness. Of course, the exterminator known for his devastating 12-6 curveball, whose RPMs on it is far superior than the vast majority of curveballs you see in Major League Baseball. He works in a slider, changeup, and fastball, and lives on control, just like Gillespie and Helton, who have just thrown the first 2 complete games that go 9 innings in Banana Ball history, and they've done it back-to-back.
It is quite unbelievable what we're seeing. And, you know, tomorrow's starter, Sean Fluke, might end up helping the Bananas. They have seen him very well, especially here in the month of August. And for them, with Fluke throwing so many breaking balls, you would think that the Bananas are going to take a few more pitches, see where these breaking balls are moving on the bottom parts of the zone, the outside and inside parts of the zone, and maybe that'll help them time up some missed pitches from Sean Fluke throughout that night.
And by the way, before we hand out our pair of Hokas tonight and shout out our entire cast and crew, we also have to shout out the Bananas bullpen, who Kyle Lewigs, after giving up 3 runs in the first, tough call mixed in there, and then 1 run in the second, goes scoreless innings in the 3rd and 4th. Then Zach Phillips comes in and gets 3 scoreless innings without allowing a hit or a sprint. Then Matt Malatesta comes in and throws a scoreless inning. And of course, Danny Hosley puts the bow on it. He tosses a scoreless frame as well. So 5 scoreless innings from the Bananas bullpen, and their pitching staff finishes with 7 straight scoreless, thanks to the 2 straight that Kyle ended on.
Yeah, it was kind of a rare night here in Savannah. Usually you've seen a lot of offense, whether it's from the Party Animals or the Bananas. Usually the contest in Grayson, pretty high scoring, but lately we continue to see some really fun and unique pitchers duels, and this time it was between Drew Gillespie and, for the most part, the Bananas bullpen as well. It was a fun one.
Well, we touched on it on the pregame show, but the batting averages for the Bananas and Party Animals. For the Nanners in Des Moines, it was barely over the Mendoza line. For the Party Animals, it was barely over 250. So the pitching is starting to find its groove in a hitter's sport, and it has been very fun to watch. For the Nanners, I suspect Jared Donaldson, the splitter specialist, gets the start tomorrow night, and he has been incredibly hot for the Nanners recently.
Yeah, and it is going to be fun. He is coming off of his best month on tour. Tomorrow we hit September. The numbers kind of reset for Donnie and some of these guys. guys, and he's just going to try and continue to work off an earned run average of about 3.3 for Jared Donaldson, and as long as that splitter continues to be on, which across his last 3 starts has been tremendous, you get the feeling he's going to find more success against these party animals.
Could not agree more. The Animals' dream is still alive. They've won 2 straight. They need to make it 7 more in a row to sweep the rug out from under the Bananas and win a tour that they had dominated up until the start of June. Okay, it is time. Let's give away a pair of Hokas. Josh, drum roll, please. Really good. Okay, it almost gave me enough time to pull it up. Now I have the winner. It is Isabella Alves. Isabella Alves, congratulations on your free pair of Hokas. Thank you to everybody who watched the broadcast tonight and tuned in on YouTube and in the K-Club. The chats have been incredibly fun to keep up with in between the innings and all that fun stuff. The 10th fastest game in Banana Ball history. Boy, oh boy, this one flew right by. Okay, let's shout out the cast and crew that made it happen, and then we will see you tomorrow night as first pitch will be at 7 p.m. and the pregame show will kick off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube. For our technical director, Griffin Ellis, down in the control room, and incredible work, as per always, for one of the greatest brains in BTV history. Same goes for Chris Haynes, our associate producer and director tonight, calling all the shots and doing a terrific job down in the control room. Our audio was run by Katie Duke tonight, the best in the business. The scorebug was dominated by Kwanzi One Name. You know him and you love him. The replay was absolutely sensational work by Keegan Woods. You can put him anywhere, and he is going to crush it. You can say the same for Julia Massey on the graphics and Mikey O'Connor updating the statistics on said graphics. They are the best in the business. When it comes to the folks out on the field, Emerson Elmgren, the Iron Horse of BTV, was holding down the first base cam, and across the diamond from her, it was Dakota Burnstead, one of our legends of Bananas television as well. They both crushed it, as did Nick Keldy on the high home cam. Clayton Franklin getting some well-deserved time off after his producing experience last weekend in Des Moines. On the center field cam, it was Bella Soto, climbing the scaffolding out there and holding down the center field cam. On low home, it was Mr. Jackson Hamilton. So great to have you back in action, Jackson. And on the wireless, Henry Campbell with one of the most beautiful flows and beard combos that you can find in the Northern Hemisphere. Our video legend, Chris Sachi, cooking up our showman of the night reel for you. Our YouTube king, Zach Bro, is doing so much behind the scenes you couldn't even dream of it. And of course, our Zappos and K-Club queen, 2 crowns for Melissa Beal, aka Melly B, also known as Millicent Bean Supreme. Shout out Savannah Alaniz, our marketing.
And I've got to admit, she's the MVP of our morning and afternoon.
And she's not even paying attention. What? Yeah, we shouted you out, Savannah. Congratulations. Thank you, Josh. You were incredible tonight, dude.
Nico Scala, you're my bagel buddy. It was a great day with you. I'm excited for Big Tiger Friday tomorrow. Great work tonight.
As to you, Mr. Talevsky. Shout out our coordinating producer of BTV, Chad Reese. He is the man with the plan and the best in the business, as are our executive producers, Jesse, Emily, and Carrie Cole, as well as Jared Orton. Thank you to Brett Helton for joining us in the booth. I am Biko Scala. For our incredible cast and crew saying so long for now once again, the Party Animals win it 2-1 in the second 9-inning complete game in Banana Ball history. And in the second 2 games, Drew Gillespie is the author of this one, and the Animals will try to make it 3 straight wins tomorrow as we kick off the pregame at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and first pitch will be at 7. Thank you so much for spending your thirsty Thursday with us. We'll see you on Big Tiger Friday, and of course, we'll see you later.